very special woman in my life would be my grandmother. She's very strong and independent.
A special woman in my life would probably have to be my grandmother. She was always really kind. She was really heartfelt no matter what. She was always friendly to anyone unless you mess with the fam yoke.
It would be my dance teacher. She's basically a second mom. She's so welcoming and nice, and she does everything for you.
So I guess it would have to be my mom, because I guess I'm a mama's boy and she's done a lot for me, and now my goal is to give everything back to her in tenfold.
I guess grandmother, probably. My mother's mother. She was a school teacher. She was married to a president of a college who died when she was in her early working years. In the 40s is when her husband died, and so she returned to the classroom at that time, and she was a very faithful woman.
Her teaching me how to cook, it was the funniest thing ever because I can't cook at all. I think it was so strange being taught by her because she didn't teach it to me as something that women should do. It was just a pastime.
Like one time we had no outside connection with the world because we had no Wi-Fi. So we all did this, or me and my grandmother did this thing one night, and we just sat in the living room. We watched every possible movie that we could ever watch. And let me tell you, these movies were like 80s, 90s, like you would not believe how ridiculous.
It would have to be when I said goodbye to her. Usually we say the final night at the studio, all seniors. And I hugged her goodbye, and she told me as I walked down the hill to get back in my car, she started crying. And I started crying as well when I got into my car because I knew it was the last time I'd be at that studio.
Probably growing up as a kid, just her being around, just small stuff.
She always assured me, regardless of where I was, that she prayed for me, that she remembered me, that she cared for me. I never had any doubt of her tender love for me.
The best thing I've ever done for her, I think, would just be helping her out right now. I think in the past 4 years, I've tried to be there more and just help with normal household things as much as I can. She likes for me to read to her in different languages.
She usually did all the chores when I went over to my grandparents' house. So I used to just kind of go over. I went over there and I was like, you know what, Grandma, you take care of us. I'm taking care of you today. So I did all my chores, or did all of her chores, and I did not flinch 1 second.
I guess I would always try to help with the younger kids whenever there was a special part in the special day where the kids had to come and get one group. I was always that person who was like, okay, we gotta go this way. So I always kind of took care of the younger ones and got them calmed down.
Well, this past summer, I gave her $2,000 before I went back to school. Told her don't worry about anything, because I know it's hard being a single parent raising 3 kids. So handed her $2,000 straight cash.
To try to be faithful and compassionate toward other people, to try to carry her example forward. I currently have her sister, youngest sister, who is my great aunt, who just moved to the area, that is in an assisted care facility, and I'm helping to take care of her.
I don't know much about it. I do know that my grandma does have a heart issue and she needs certain medications to keep it kind of at peace. I think that's about it. I know that she can't do too much, or she needs to eat healthier and things like that, I think.
Well, I know that heart health is a really big concern in America, especially one of the biggest killers of people in America. And as a matter of fact, that's why she's dead today. It's because of that seriousness.
I know a few things because it does run in my family, but don't know a lot.
Well, last year this time, I was out for football for like heart reasons, health related reasons, and I've learned a lot from heart health because I knew some things I didn't know before.
Heart health is extremely important. When you ask about a special woman, I thought specifically of my grandmother because she did have heart disease, but she lived to be almost 98 years old. Her sister that I just spoke about, that I just have moved here, will be 94 in a month. She has peripheral vascular disease that runs in the family. Knowing that cardiovascular illness runs in the family, I think it's very important for me to be aware of exercise, diet, taking care of myself, relieving stress when possible, realizing that genetically we can't do anything about what we've been given other than take care and be aware of how to limit those risk factors as much as possible.
Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans today, taking 422,000 lives a year. The most common killer in heart disease is the heart attack. This is when plaque buildup clogs the arteries and blocks normal heart function. The most common symptoms are chest pain, however this is predominantly in men. In fact, 64% of women who die suddenly from heart disease show no symptoms at all. Many symptoms in women occur to be flu-like, and this can be highly misleading for women. Heart disease is the cause of 1 in 3 women's deaths every year, killing approximately 1 woman every minute. The statistics increase even more for African Americans and Hispanic women. 46% of African American women ages 20 and older have heart disease and are at high risk of a heart attack. And Hispanic women can develop heart disease approximately 10 years earlier than Caucasian women. Luckily, there are prevention methods for everyone. One should control cholesterol levels and blood pressure, avoid smoking and alcohol, as these can increase blood pressure and leave toxins in the body, and stay active and lead a healthy lifestyle.
It makes me feel good that my grandma's already, well, she's been diagnosed, I guess. I think it's a good thing that right now she knows, and she can do life changes to make sure that she's okay.
It's kind of scary because before my grandma died, she had a stroke, which she thankfully lived for. But hearing like alcohol can do it as well, it's kind of, I've never thought about that.
Well, I can tell it's truth because, well, that's why my grandmother's, in the ground, because she smoked, and that really did affect her. I mean, that really what ended her, and probably that and mayonnaise on toast. It's probably a really bad thing.
I just feel like it's kind of common sense. Like, well, if you want to live a long life, well, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't smoke. And eating right, that's all part of just keeping everything intact, keeping everything in shape.
So my reaction to that is, first, a phrase that you hear a lot: know your numbers. You can't do anything about things you don't know about. So you need to know your cholesterol levels. That's all levels within that: the triglycerides, the HDL, the good cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. You need to know your blood pressure. You need to have your annual exam, and be sure that you communicate clearly with your doctor in terms of knowing your numbers, because then you can take action in terms of if it's exercise that you need to increase or do on a more regular basis. If there are stress relievers that need to happen, exercise is a great stress reliever. The other thought is that women in particular ignore what might be symptoms of heart attacks for them. Shoulder, back pain, arm pain are flu-like symptoms that do not change or do not go away. But if you're getting your annual checkups, if you're being followed, and you know your numbers, your chance of decreasing the risk of a heart attack is increased greatly. And I was going to mention food also. Mm-hmm. I think a balanced meal and portion controls are so important. And it's never too early for girls, women, to start being very aware of portion controls, eating balanced foods, not depriving themselves, but making sure that the green leafy vegetables, the fruits, everything, and meats are in smaller quantities, but everything is in a proportion balanced size.
Just to let her know that family is always here to support her.
But you can stop. You can prolong your life. By each second you don't.
So I think my grandmother was the prime example for me, living to 98 years old, that she did eat very healthily. Junk food was not on her radar at all, but natural things, honey, olive oil, fruits and vegetables. Very, very important. I think her sister, the one I spoke about also, being an example for me, even though she's experiencing some health problems now, she always says, I've had a wonderful life. So I would say thank you to both of them for being examples to me of healthy relationships, healthy habits, trying to put forth the best effort, and having a heart that's really compassionate and generous. Graciousness, that's going to add, to override a little bit the genetic patterns that we have been given.
Basically, just keep active and watch what you eat. You only got one heart, or unless you get a donor, which is very hard to do. So you might as well take care of it while you have it.